Hello, boys and girls. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't just doing that randomly because, if you can't tell by the title, drumming is actually a big part of this video. Now I'm asked before I go anywhere, I would like to ask you all to watch this entire video before you make your points. Watch this entire video at least, maybe 75% at least, before you make a comment about the content of the video, because I'm noticing an alarming number of people on this website are posting comments with a lot of points 30 seconds after the video is uploaded, so thank you. Anyway, a lot of people ask me regularly, is there anything that you don't like about Metallica? Because at varying times over the course of the time of which I've had this channel, I've had Metallica backgrounds, I've featured videos with Metallica playing, you've seen me wear a bunch of Metallica shirts. It's no doubt, there's no question anybody said I am a huge Metallica fan. Sometimes I consider myself a Metallica fanboy. And I'm asked a lot of questions about Metallica. Things like, what's your favorite Metallica song, favorite member of Metallica, favorite solo. One thing I'm never really asked is, what's your favorite drum line? What is your favorite drum track? What's your favorite song that Lars Ulrich has drummed on? At least past the first 4 albums. No one ever asked me, what's your favorite piece of Lars's work after the Black Album? No one ever asks me that. And more importantly, no one ever asks me, what's your favorite live performance of Lars? I've been asked quite a few times about my favorite live performances of James and, Kirk, Rob, Cliff, Jason. Never asked all that often about Lars. And it is a psychologically stimulating thing to ignore some of the more unsavory parts of the things you love. Here are all the things you love about the things you love, and here are some of the things you hate. It's very psychologically stimulating and easy to ignore those bad parts, and I try not to do that. And I told myself, you know what? Why is that logic exempt from Metallica, or any band that I love? Why is that logic exempt from them? Why should Metallica be the exception? And, well, with this video, I'm finally going to set the record straight. I'm finally going to come out with it. Finally going to clear it all up. So it'll be psychologically stimulating for me to clear it all up and get it off my head. So, that being said, turning over this new leaf, so to speak, I am going to publicly bash Lars Ulrich of Metallica, and not because of Napster. Napster, everything he did with Napster was his right to do. It was his content, his material, it was his prerogative. I don't care about that. I never did. It's whatever, okay? It's just how the system works. And he has shown contrition for what he did with that. Okay, it's not about Napster, so I'm not even going to begin to argue the whole Napster thing with anybody. It has everything to do with the fact that I still cannot believe that this guy is still their drummer. I was recently watching a performance of Call of Cthulhu from they're doing the Big 4th thing now, I think it was July 4th. It was a performance they did in, I want to say Sweden. And they were playing the Call of Cthulhu. And it's a really, really big treat if you get to see them play Call of Cthulhu, because they never play it. And I started watching it for the first minute. It was fine. And I realized it was fine because there were no drums. And then it happens. Lars Ulrich starts drumming. I literally, it was so awful. Listening to how Lars Ulrich raped every aspect of that song, musically. Inopportune fills, using the China symbol to mask his mistakes as if he can mask them all. All of these things, he just broke the entire performance down. And I literally had to pause the video, sit back, and think profoundly on this very basic question. How in the hell are James, Kirk, and Rob able to play their parts correctly and proficiently and not mess up when this guy behind them is playing like he's playing to a completely different song in his head? How are they able to proficiently play their parts? Because the drummer is a very big component of the rhythm section. So for the most part, everybody who's playing the rhythm part should screw up because of him. And I wonder, and I have much more respect for James and Rob and Kirk, knowing that they have this behind them to deal with. Now, this is also hard for me because I used to cite Lars Ulrich as an influence in my drumming, and I do, because just the way he, on studio tracks, how he plays off of James and the bassists, Rob, Cliff, Jason, whoever they were, how he plays off of them in the studio, and how it comes out on an album. His style on albums has been a very big influence to me. But you know what? It's very hard to call that an influence when he cannot repeat at all what he does on a record when he gets on stage. It's not a very good influence. And a lot of people consider Metallica influences, ignoring the very basic fact that Lars Ulrich cannot even half-assed do what he does in studio live. Another reason I'm making this video is because anytime I see anybody give just a modicum of criticism to Lars on a video, I'll see someone post a comment on a video, oh, well, I love Metallica, but Lars, man, you need to get rid of that China symbol. You need to start practicing. I hate to say it. And they get bombarded. And instantly, their dick is knocked into the dirt with Metallica fans saying, what are you talking about, man? Lars is getting old, you know. Lars is still awesome, man. You're not a fan of Metallica if you're not a fan of Lars' drumming. This guy is just sharing his opinion and being honest, and here he is being instantly derogated. And might I ask, how does hating one singular part of something mean you hate the entire thing? How does that work? When did that become logical in this world? Just because you hate one small part of something, you hate everything about it? That's what these Metallica fans are saying. And then they give you the age excuse. They give you the age excuse, okay? They say, well, he's old. Oh, you tell me that, and I'll give you names like Dave Lombardo. Vinnie Paul's another guy that's been able to drum just as fine as he could when he was younger. Neil Peart can still play 2112 every bit as well as he could when they first recorded it back in 1976, and he's pushing 60. And a guy like Buddy Rich, who was still drumming his ass off as proficiently as he could when he was in his 30s into his 60s. So don't tell me his age. Lars Ulrich has openly admitted that he does not practice. He's openly admitted that, he's not as good as he could be, as good as he was back in the day. He just stopped practicing, and the only reason Lars Ulrich has not been fired from Metallica, they have not looked for a better drummer, is because he takes care of the business side of things, and he's the band's mouthpiece. He is ingrained himself within the culture of Metallica. Hell, he started the band pretty much. With that ad he put in the recycler all those years ago, he basically started the band. And Dave Mustaine has gone on the record to say that they were thinking of firing him because of his drumming ineptitude. And look where he's at 30 years later. To defend Lars Ulrich, I've cited examples like the entire And Justice for All album where his drumming was top-notch, very complex. But you know something? I've spent a little time in recording studios, and I've seen how many takes some drummers have to take, or some singers or guitarists have to take to get something down perfectly. All you have to do is look at the motion capture for the shortest straw from when they were doing Guitar Hero Metallica to see just how careless Lars Ulrich has got over the years. And I think I can close it out with this point. Carelessness. To be a musician is to respect the work that you have done, to respect the quality of work you have done. To be a big-time musician like Metallica, or a band like Metallica, to be a big-time musician like Lars Ulrich, to have enough talent, supposedly, to have your own $35 pair of signature sticks and your own signature snare drum, to be that great, you must respect the quality of your work, and you must keep yourself in shape, in musical shape, for the fans, to show the fans that you respect the quality of your work. Lars Ulrich hasn't done that, but there are enough Metallica fans out there that will overlook his shitty drumming, that will not even question the fact that Lars Ulrich has gotten progressively worse. I'm questioning it because I've been a fan for so many years, and I can't keep kidding myself. I just can't. And why am I going on camera with this? Why are you telling us this on camera? Well, A, I can't rant about the same things over and over again. I like to have some variety in my life. And B, I am one of the first people who have taken to the YouTubes, the internets, the YouTubes, and actually just sat here as a huge Metallica fan, not as someone who has hated Metallica, as a Metallica fan, and admitted that Lars Ulrich sucks and should have been fired a long time ago. That's why I'm doing this. And it's actually a good thing to get off my chest because as a big Metallica fan, it's really hard to say any of this. But I will end with, let me show you all something. Okay. The #1 top thing that pisses me off about Lars Ulrich when he drums live, back in the day, on his right side here, he used to have a ride cymbal and a hi-hat for the, the speedy fills, that kind of thing. Nowadays, all he has is a big fat China cymbal. And on very fast beats, this is what he does. He might do the Dyer's Eve when he should be doing a double bass fill. He just does this. Respecting the quality of the work that you put out and respecting your music doesn't mean much to Lars Ulrich. And it's sad to admit. Sorry, Metallica fans. What do you think about Lars Ulrich? I'd like to know. What do you think about Lars Ulrich and the quality of his drumming over the years? I'd like to know. I'm going to go and listen to some old Metallica albums and try to find out just where he went wrong. Or I'll just listen to it because I like the music. Hey, that's a good idea. Have a good day, folks.